us.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So we had that problem last time.
No, I figured.
Okay, perfect. What am I go? Welcome to Two Fat Guys Pull List, and this is episode 78 of Two Fat Guys Pull List, and pretty massive week. It was beefy. It was extremely beefy, and I think we both came to this consensus. Let me check my audio here really quick. I think we're good. Yep. We both came to the consensus that Marvel and DC were kind of okay. C for Marvel, DC.
C plus.
C plus. Okay. And independents were actually pretty freaking fire this week. Just give y'all the heads up. Both of our picks of the week are in the independent section, so if you're looking for that, that's going to be a little bit later in the show. But yeah, what's going on, Jaden? How you doing? Welcome everybody that's watching. We're going to take care of some business really quick. Hopefully Patty is watching this right now. Hopefully he's live, because I have something to show him.
Okay.
And Stefan, I have something to show you too. You were watching when I opened a box of Brilliant Star earlier, but you're one of my lucky charms. But I have to show this off. So today is our National Pokemon Day, right? And the family went out today. We went out and we went to Target, and then we went to Barnes & Noble, took the kids out, we got books. It was great. And I saw that Barnes & Noble had, some booster packs of Brilliant Stars, and I've been opening them up, and I haven't really hit anything massive yet until today. I bought 6 booster packs. 5 of them had nothing in them.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got this bad boy. The Charizard V-Star Secret Rare. The most coveted. Everybody wants this card. Currently like $230.
Damn.
Yeah, bud. So debating about it. I've got a couple other cards that are kind of high like that I'm thinking about sending to get graded just to have it.
Wow.
We'll see. Anyway, thought I'd share that. So Patty, if you see this later, we hit it, man. We did it. Quiku says, hey, what's up? Guys, don't know if I'll be able to stay for the whole show, but I wanted to say congrats for hitting 600. Y'all deserve all this success and more. Thank you so much, Quiku. We did hit 600 subscribers, and we are on our way to 650. When we hit 650, this is part of the business anyway, we're giving away this bad boy. 9.8 CBCS graded Daredevil issue number 25, second printing, first appearance of Elektra as Daredevil. So 50 subscribers away, and we will hit that. And as always, we're going to talk about our show's sponsor, which is BrainyComics.com and also Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. So let me pop this up really quick. If you don't know, or if you haven't done it yet, we have our Two Fat Guys Pull List upgrade and premium upgrade. What this is when you go to BrainyComics.com and you buy yourself some comics, what you can do is at the end of the day, or at the end of your shopping experience, once you've picked out the comics you want, you can put this upgrade or the premium upgrade in your shopping cart, and the upgrade gets you for $8 a mystery exclusive comic cover. If you get the premium upgrade for $15, it gets you 2 mystery exclusive comic covers. Now, most of Ron's exclusives run anywhere between $15 to $20, sometimes even $30. If we go to the exclusive covers right now, you can see you've got a Miles Morales issue number 35 exclusive cover. You can get that you could potentially get that. You've got a Harley Quinn for $15, a Gwen verse. He's got a ton. World's Finest, Something's Killing the Children, issue 21 for $40. So there's a ton of exclusive comic covers that he has at brainycomics.com. So you could have, if you put that in your sub or in your shopping cart, you have the potential to get some of these cool, awesome exclusive covers once you check out and buy. So make sure to head over to brainycomics.com, do some shopping, and then put that upgrade in your cart, and you will get an exclusive cover included with whatever you bought that day on brainycomics.com. So that does it with the business. Let's get back to our actual pool. It is a crazy night. Let me get back to the chat really quick because everyone's talking about my Pokemon card. Empire Does says Endy's for the win. Hell yeah. Chase the card from Stefan. Hell yes. Love the rainbow colors on it. Yes, the rainbow secret rares are amazing. They're freaking awesome. Jim, I keep missing shuffle lives. I actually didn't rip that live. Unfortunately, I was the boys were up watching a movie. I had to get through them quick. I just was like, I'm just gonna open them, hit the first 5 packs, and then bam. And I literally, the first thought after freaking out was, God damn it, I wasn't ripping live, or at least recording so I could show it. So, Quick, thoughts on the Pokemon trailer for Gen 9? I'm glad to see them. Seems to be building off the Legends. Is open world. I think I'm going to go with the Fire Starter or the Duck Starter. They're both very cute. Here's a secret, Quiku. Actually, it's not really a secret, but it's almost kind of cheating. When a new Pokemon game comes out, if I have 2 consoles of that the game is on, I end up buying 2 copies of the game, the A and B versions, and I essentially get to the point in the game in my first game where you can trade, and I start the game with all 3 starters so that I don't miss out on that experience. I don't care, Nate. You can judge me all you want, but
Cheater.
I'm not cheating, man. That's just
Cheater,
the system. Until they find a mechanic to not let you do that, it's not cheating.
I mean, they want you to do that because they want you to buy more copies.
Yeah, exactly. And Sarah wants to play it, so we're at one point there will be 6 starters, 3 in mine, 3 in her game. It's gonna be great. Seven says I'm going with the Duck. Gen 9 looks super sick. Can't wait for it. Yes, the open world aspect of it. It's a lot like I think it's gonna be a lot like the Arceus game or the Legends. Which I'm having a fantastic time playing right now. So, all right.
I knew what you were talking about.
Exactly. Enough. Let's get out of the Pokemon talk and let's jump into this week's pools. And we start off our show every week with our X-Men comics, and we only had one this week, and that is X Deaths of Wolverine, issue number 3, the halfway point for both Death and Lives. I think we've said this multiple times with this. With Deaths, it is the better comic right now between Deaths and Lives. It seems to be pushing and engaging a scenario and storyline from Inferno that's pushing into Destiny of X, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying it this whole time. It's Inferno Part 2, but I really liked the cheesiness of this issue where we get the whole Wolverine family together. I like that. I thought that was cute. Laura's Laura? No.
Which one?
Gabby's age. I feel like they cannot keep a straight gauge on her age at all, which is very frustrating because it's like how? But that was a pretty minor discrepancy, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that didn't bother me too much. The big thing that we got here is that Moira has now, she's officially abandoned her phalanx arm and now has replaced it with, essentially she's gained herself an 11th life by contacting this technology mobile guy, the next Google, if you will, to implant her memories into an robot. and so she's become robot and human. And so she's pushing this next life, her 11th life, via not her powers, obviously, because she doesn't have her mutant powers anymore. And she is confirming, or at least in her mind, she has confirmed that because we have a phalanx-infused Wolverine hunting her from the future, that whatever she's doing currently in her 10th life is working in her mind, because they're coming back in time. They're doing the Terminator, coming back to destroy her, so that this version of existence, this reality, does not exist. And what we find out is that Wolverine knows that, or is experienced, that the mutants lose. He sees all 3 of his kids killed. He knows how they die. And so he's coming back in time. At least that's what we're being told to in this issue, to prevent Moira from doing what she's currently doing. That's what we think. But is that what we think? Like, are we being pushed in one direction?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll honestly say that I am not overanalyzing this, so I'm just going with it. Sure, yeah, that seems about right.
I don't know.
I think that I've put so much effort the past 2 years into trying to figure out mutants and where the X line is going, that now I'm just like, maybe it'll be better if I just go along for the ride.
Right.
This is the one book. It feels like this whole break where we've been doing only Wolverine. Every week, Lives comes out. I'm just like,
God damn it.
I'm just like, maybe I should drop the X line. Like, just pick it up and trade. I'm just not that invested right now. Yeah. And then Deaths comes out, and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to miss out on this shit while it's happening. Right. And then Lives comes out, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should. And so, I don't know how to feel anymore.
No, I get that. I, thinking, kind of really trying to digest it and really analyze it and break it down. For me, the thing that I'm like trying to figure out, because I'm loving Deaths more than Lives, obviously. Lives is good in the sense that if you think it's just if a Wolverine book, yes, it's good, but I know it's not, right? Like, we know, we've been told that at some point the two will meet, whether it's at the end or what, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so in the back of my mind, whenever I read Deaths or even Lives, I'm like, when are these two going to meet? When are we going to get a complete story? Because currently they don't feel at all like pieces of puzzles that go together. And the way it's been sold to us by Marvel and Benjamin Percy is that these two stories coincide, and we have not. I mean, I was about to say something really stupid. We actually have had one thread of connection, right? And it was in this issue, right? When the Wolverine kids show up, when Honey Badger and Wolverine show up to talk to Professor X, or when Professor X comes to talk to them, he's like, why don't you get Logan to do it? And he's like, well, he's currently on a mission. That's the first time we've had, at least in Deaths, any mention of Logan being on a mission into the past. So I will give it that. So hopefully in issue 4 of X Lives of Wolverine, we get the vice versa, right? Like, maybe we see a little bit of Phalanx glitching into Logan's memories as he's going through the past. I don't know. And if that's the case, if that happens, great. Finally, we have some cohesion. But as of right now, we've only had a snippet of it, and it was 2 pages. And I'm getting frustrated in that sense, because I when this was announced, I was like, all right, sweet, we have a glimmer of hope. And now we've had, like, half your body is dead, and the other half is trying to limp along, and it's successfully moving, but to what end? You know what I mean?
Right.
Quico says, I have a theory. I think the trickster titan that sent Omega Sentinel back in time, creating the 10-pound... Wait, I'm sorry. Creating life 10 is... 10B. I'm sorry, 10 pound. 10B is also responsible for sending Phalanx Logan back in time from 10B's future. The creatures... this creates life 10C and would explain why a branch of Destiny of X promo showed 3 different versions of a character, 10A, B, and C. I think the Titan is Warlock, Doug and Krakoa merging. Oh my god. And they're trying to create a future where humans, mutants, and machines live in harmony instead of one side wiping out and ruling over the other two. Lives is fun, but I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop about how it'll all matter in the long term.
I honestly think we need to start a petition for Quaker to be head of X.
I agree. I totally agree.
Every idea that he's thrown in here, I'd be like, yep, that's
and hopefully,
even
you know,
better than what they're doing.
I really like that idea. The other theory that I heard, and it was from the other guy that we watch all the time on this channel, Comic Book Herald, is that the Omega Sentinel that was sent back in time by the Phalanx is actually Moira. So she's all over the place. I don't know. I'm sure that there is going to be, I mean, obviously there's going to be some timeline sharing, live sharing shenanigans going on. I just need it to be cohesive in all the books because I feel like Deaths is moving the plot forward and Lives is like, I get it. Logan, you're a scarred individual. You want more of your past to be more cohesive and fixed and peaceful than it really is, but that's not how time works. Get over it. You know, take care of Omega Red. And the big drop in Lives last week was, oh, Omega Red took over Wolverine. Okay, cool. Saw that one coming. What are we gonna do? You know. Anyway, that's my I'm off my soapbox. That's my TED Talk. Thanks for coming. That's the end of the show. We'll talk to you guys later. Next up, we have Captain Marvel issue 36. The Guardians, the Avengers are all fighting with Captain Marvel against Vox Supreme and his ooey gooey Marvel army. When was the last time we got this book? Was it a month or was there like a decent break?
It was a 6-week break, month and a half. So it came out. It came out first week of January, and then we waited until like last week of February. So it felt like 2 months.
Yeah, I felt like, I just feel like that, in my opinion, I thought the story was fine, but I think the momentum that was building within this book kind of lost its edge a little bit because of that break. That would be my only criticism of the book. I think the story was fun. You know, we're getting these little hints of Marvel coming back, and we've got his son. Huh?
No, there are no hints of Marvel coming back.
It's happening, and you know why it's going to happen? Because we have another book in this show that I called like a year ago about this is going to happen, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen in this book, okay? It's going to happen, Nate. It's happening.
It's not.
Because the biggest thing I can take away from this is when Warlock shows up, and... Or is it Warlock? Is it what's his son? Is the same son named Warlock?
No, Genisville.
What's the Emperor's name?
Hulkling?
Warlock.
Teddy.
When Teddy shows up and they do the whole fighting bit, and he finds out that Vox Supreme has been using Marvel's DNA within the new planet because it's like imbued with it or whatever, however you say that word. That Vox Supreme has been taking the essence of Marvel and using him as like a guinea pig and making these clones. At the end of this issue, when they're all, trying to disintegrate everything that Vox Supreme made, he takes the bit that looks like his dad, and they take it away.
For a respectful burial is all he says.
I don't even think that's going to happen. Someone, either that may be Teddy's intention, but somebody within the Empire is going to get a hold of it, and shabang, shaboom, shabang, he's back. He's the rightful emperor. Teddy, get out of here. I'm telling you, it's coming. And call it now. 2/27/0222 is happening. It's going to happen.
Okay. This was probably my favorite of the Marvel books this week.
Okay.
Again, just because it appeals to my cosmic love. I thought the art was really good. I thought it was a lot of fun. I loved seeing all of the who's who of the cosmic players on the same page right now.
Right.
Moondragon is one of my favorite characters, and just being able to see her show up just a little bit after the canceled Guardians book is nice. Getting to see Hulkling again, who's not in any sort of current book. I like L'Oreal as a character. She always has something funny to say. I just, there's nothing like groundbreaking in here. No massive, critical commentary or anything like that. But it was just a nice, fun, spacey battle with cool art and fun fighting.
Yeah, it was a good. Okay, cool. Let's get to the next book, kind of thing. And it was good. I don't know. I think I'm a little bit more disappointed in this current arc. I felt like it just didn't. Yeah, you can be mad at me if you want, but I felt like the previous arc when she was time traveling, and we were seeing, the daughter of Thor, and like I felt like there was more structure in that read. Like I was like every time an issue came out, I was like, oh my god. And with this one, maybe it's because I'm just not as connected with like the actual Marvels. Marvel and Genevieve and Jessica Rambeau and all them. Like I'm not, or Monica Rambeau. Sorry, just Jessica. Man, I'm all over the place. I guess maybe I'm not as attached to those characters or I'm as eager to read about them. And I just felt like this current arc, it just was kind of a B- for me. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm dropping Captain Marvel. I'm gonna keep going. I'm just, it didn't hit as hard as the previous arc. Okay. All right, Dark Ages, issue number 5. This is gonna be an honorable mention. Overall, still very fun. Elseworld story. We totally miffed on who's on this cover.
Yeah.
It's Miles Morales. It's not. It's
that
not.
cover doesn't look like Miles Morales.
Yeah, it's not Goblin. But that was a fun reveal. The thing, I think, overall, it was a great story. I like where we're going here. I feel like we're starting to turn a corner, which is great. But we're only 6 issues in, so this is the penultimate, right?
Yeah, there's only one more issue.
Oh my god. Well, then that would be my only.
I have no idea how this story is going to wrap up in one more issue.
Right, and I think that's my one criticism of this issue, and overall Dark Ages. Thought it started off strong, but it's going so fast. Like, this actually needs to be a 12 issue or at least an 8, because it feels like the Miles Morales fight was literally 2.5 pages, and it wasn't. And then we got a character design that we didn't even really get to see him look like, and that really bothered me. But I mean, again, the concept is fun. I just want it to be fleshed out more. I almost feel like we need a redo. Like, hey, give Tom Taylor. Maybe it was like he was 2 issues in and he was like, hey, by the way, guys, I'm signing an exclusive deal with DC, so I don't know how you want to like do this.
No, because remember, this was delayed because of the pandemic.
That's true.
So now
then again, maybe he got a rewrite, and he just had to.
Oh, you're okay.
What?
Get off you're speculating just out the wazoo now.
Fake news. Anyway, that's
Fake news.
Either way, it was fun, but it just moves way too fast. Like, hopefully Dark Knights doesn't take this turn. It hasn't currently. It still reads fast, but the pacing of every book, I'm like, and I feel like we're moving in the right pacing. It's just the book reads too quickly.
Yep.
All right, Ghost Rider, issue number 1 from Benjamin Percy. You didn't read this, right?
Oh, no.
Okay, don't worry about that. You don't have to go. Don't worry about it. I'll get us through it. I'm gonna take care of it. I don't know how. Hold on. Do you think they will do a to be continued arc winter 2022 thing? I don't know.
For Dark Ages, probably.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
no,
because it won't be Taylor.
It won't be Tom Taylor.
It's dead.
Unless it's Donny Cates. Anyway, Ghost Rider issue number 1 from Benjamin Percy. Many parallels between this and his Wolverine run. This is not Benjamin Percy's fault, but I don't necessarily like. I liked it. I actually liked it, but I'm not picking up issue 2.
Oh.
I'm gonna pick it up in trade.
Oh wow.
Except, well, hold on. Rephrase. I am picking up issue 2, but I'm only picking up issue 2 because there's another Peach Momoko cover. Because I picked up the Peach Momoko cover. And that's why I'm picking up issue 2. I may read it, but I'm I'm conflicted because it was good. I thought it was fun, but because I liked the previous arc or the previous volume, and and Stefan, you're right. Johnny Blaze was a complete turd when he was doing the trike training or the bicycle training. He's like, kid, you can ride. It's built into us, and then he just pushes the kid. He's like, Daddy, no, and like scrubs his face. Anyway. I'm conflicted because I liked the previous volume, and I'm pissed that it got canceled. Because I liked Johnny Blaze as King of Hell. I liked that he was losing himself as the King of Hell, and it just didn't get finished the way I wanted it to. So I'm holding a grudge, unfortunately. So I will be finishing this in trade after issue 2. But overall, I think it's a good Ghost Rider story. If you hadn't read the previous volume, I think it's fun because it's trippy as fuck. Like Ghost Rider and Johnny himself is trapped in this fake reality, and he doesn't figure it out until towards the end of the book that he's been captured and that demons are running his life. It was pretty cool. Like that was a really cool idea. And him, finally turning into the Ghost Rider, and he's like, "I'm the Ghost Rider, bitch!" Like it was cool. Just it sucks because he's not the King of Hell anymore, and I feel like that story arc deserved to be fleshed out, and it just maybe they'll mention it as we go along in this run, but I ain't on it. So that's me. Michael says I like this one. I think it's what was that? I can't read that word. It causes. What does that say? CUSSE.
It's just misspelling.
Okay.
It's because of what he's constantly
sorry.
messing him up.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Ghost Rider is definitely a promising. I like Percy going hard on the horror element. It is very graphic and very horrifying. I don't know. Maybe issue 2, when I get it for the Peach Momoko and I kind of creep in there and read it, if there's enough of a hook in issue 2, maybe I'll keep reading it. But as of right now, I'm gonna wait because I'm just kind of.
Sounds like they don't agree with you, bud.
A lot of people don't, and that's okay. That's okay. I think I'm just bitter. I'm bitter that the previous volume didn't get its due diligence and didn't get its rightful flushing out. And I think a lot of books were a victim of that because of the pandemic, and I'm not gonna say that's okay, but I guess I get it. But I'm just a bitter Betsy. Like I just wish it had been flushed out. But if you're looking for a new start for Ghost Rider, yes, this is where, like, if you enjoy Ghost Rider and you're looking for a fresh number 1, this is definitely it. I will say that. Like, it's enjoyable for sure. It's good. All right, let's talk about Iron Man. This was almost my pick of the week for Marvel. Just because really just giving applause to Cantwell for pursuing a story 17 issues in, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You go first then, because we have different opinions.
Well, no, I just like Tony still, he's figuring out that he's a dick still, even though he has the cosmic power.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't like about this.
That's why I like it.
I feel like we have already done this. We already established Tony's a dick. He realizes it, he gets it, he's working on it, and then now all of a sudden he gets the cosmic powers, he's an asshole again. It's like, nope, we didn't need to do this again. We just did this in the first part of this arc. Like, we don't need to go back and start melting Silver Surfer and busting Gargoyle into pieces, cool. And like now he's gonna have to use his cosmic powers to resurrect them again, and it just again, this was not the strongest issue. The run is still amazing. Don't let me kind of poo-poo on this issue what sets the tone for this, because it's clearly a great series. I just thought I expected more from Cantwell, and to me, this issue was very gimmicky. It was like, let's get Silver Surfer in here, let's get Doctor Doom in here, let's have Tony kill them all, and like just ducking, like he's just gonna kill them. You're like, yeah, okay, and then bring him back the next issue. It's like, well, yeah, of course, like, Okay, yeah, we've been doing that. For years. I don't need that anymore. I'm not gonna be like, no, they killed Silver Surfer finally in this random issue of Iron Man 17. Oh, he's for sure dead, right? It just felt gimmicky to me. I thought there were so many good opportunities for the classic team dialogue that we had back in like issues like 7 through 10, where the space team is like having conversations about like God and nihilism and stuff, and I was like, that's what I was hoping we would get back in this issue, and we really didn't. We got, oh wait, Tony's an asshole again, and we're messing up the entire plot, which was Tony's redemption.
Right.
And
okay.
I just feel like it was necessary because we've already started the journey.
I see that. I totally get that. But I guess for me, I liked it because it was like, in his brain, he thought he had turned a corner. Right? It's it's a no-brainer. Everyone's as smart as me in New York. Oops. That ain't gonna work. Because, yeah, you're as smart as me doesn't mean that you're gonna do the right thing. Right? And so he gets so bogged down with that he doesn't realize that he's gone back into his old ways to the point where he's literally killing off his allies. Like, to me, that was like, what are you doing, Tony? And it's because the power cosmic, as great as it is, can't fix what you already are, which is a flawed human being. And I think he will always be the arrogant, smart, but over, like, I mean, and almost everything that he's ever done has, like even in the movies, he's like, oh, this is a great idea. Oops, Ultron's a bad idea. Like if that, and he doesn't see it until the very end. And it's like, we kind of get that too, but I get what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Well, we'll see what happens in issue. I mean, does he kill Hellcat?
No, of course not.
Patty, you're here. So I'm assuming you haven't seen the beginning of this video. I'm sure you haven't. Let me just show you something, my bro. I opened a random pack of Pokemon cards. Not live, unfortunately. I should have. Shows me. Look what I pulled today, dude. Look at that bad boy. Oh. So happy. Did not expect it at all, but it happened. So, I swear I didn't print that out. Anyway, let's go to the next.
Definitely put it out.
Stefan says, I am dumbfounded by villains. Reading the Steve Rogers novella was a great touch.
Oh, yeah.
So,
did you notice that?
I vaguely... I can't remember. Dude, I read this, like, this was one of the first books I read, so I'm like, just cliff notes. All right, Shang-Chi, issue number 9.
Uh-oh.
No, it's good. It's good. But I don't like the statement, new arc starts here. Like, you can jump on right here. Who's this guy? Why is... What? She was in the negative zone. There is so many, like, it's not a new arc. It's literally, it's not at all like a jumping on point. And that's the thing that I have a bother with. The artwork, yes, it bothered me for a second, but then I was like, oh yeah, this guy did Excalibur. It was amazing. But get that new arc starts here shit off the fucking screen, because we're still dealing with shit that was going on and characters that we're dealing with in the previous arc. It bothers me. I know that's not a massive deal, but outside of that,
but I get that.
Well, like if I were like, hey man, if you had seen that and you're like, you know what, I'm jumping on issue 9 because it's saying the new arc starts here, and I'm assuming that they're going to tell me everything that I need to know to be caught up, and like they talk about Shang-Chi's mother being stuck in the negative zone. If you read that and you're like, what?
Yeah,
right?
What?
Who's this guy? Oh, he's my grandfather? Why is he swinging at Shang-Chi? Well, you have to read issue 7 and 8 to find that out. So, anyway, it was fun. I like where we're going with this. I just don't... I thought the other issue... I thought, the previous arc, I feel like is a little bit unfinished because, we had Shang-Chi fighting the Avengers, and it was like, oh, never mind, it wasn't his fault, it was his brother's. Okay, bye. Like, come on. It just, we're dropping into this other thing, which I am interested in, which is his grandfather and the land that was established in the movie is now comic book accurate, which is great. We're getting close to the actual 10 rings being in the book. I'm about it, but I feel like the previous arc was just, we got to get through this so we can get to here. And I'm wondering now, like you were saying, are we getting into this point in the comics now where we need the comics to line up with the movies so that people aren't confused and they buy it because they saw it on the TV screen? There's a little bit of negative, I feel like, that's happening now. So I'm a bit concerned. So, not that it wasn't good. It was good. It's just, I don't know. I felt like we left something on the table. I liked this issue, but it wasn't much plot progression. Agreed. Betting the new relative we meet this issue is going to come back once Tao Lo is handled. I agree. It's a good book. It's a really good book. And I don't say that because like I loved the movie. It's really good. Like, I had fun with it, and I'm still having fun with it. I just think that we're getting a little choppy, and it's frustrating me a little bit. So, honorable mention. All right, Silver Surfer Rebirth, issue number 2.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I don't know why I said whatever other book was my favorite Marvel book. It was clearly this book.
No, I don't think you said one.
I did. Oh, I said Captain Marvel was my favorite Marvel book.
Oh, okay.
But this is way better. I forgot about this issue.
Yeah, way better.
I mean, there's really not a ton to say about this. It is another one of these, like we keep saying, it's a fan service book. It's just like the X-Men Legends and then the Fantastic Four that's coming out with the actual members in it. It's if you like the throwback to this 90s era, then you're gonna love this. Like, literally the art in this almost should have been like a poster book. Like, they really let Ron Lim just go full out. But basically the premise of this is someone has stolen so after the Infinity War or Infinity Gauntlet in comics, Adam Warlock splits the stones up between, what is it, 6 people that he trusts. So each one gets to watch the stone, and he leaves the reality stone with Thanos. And someone steals the reality stone from Thanos while Thanos is living on, you remember in the movie where he's like out on his planet just like living as a farmer?
Yeah.
In one of the movies, that's kind of the environment that's drawn here. It's just, he was like, man, I was just chilling and then my reality stone got stolen. Silver Surfer, you need to help me find it. And Silver Surfer's like, fuck you, man, you tried to kill me. And he's like, yeah, but this person's messing up reality, and didn't you just see Marvel? He's like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Alright, let's do this.
Alright, bro.
And so he goes and flies on his board, and Thanos is like, don't worry, I have my own way to get around. And he gets on that super cheesy like hoverboard seat that he has from the 90s.
I was sure you'd say a helicopter. That would have been fucking hilarious.
No, that's from the non-canonical Spider-Man issue.
Dope though. My cosmic helicopter.
And it was just really cool getting to see Ron Lim draw the old school versions of all of these characters. Moondragon and Drax and Gamora and Pip the Troll. It was just a lot of fun. Basically though, we're not exactly sure who has stolen the Reality Stone yet, but within literally the last 3 pages, we get Nebula shows up talking shit to her dad. Except this time she is the movie version of Nebula. She is not she's not the Infinity Gauntlet or the comic book accurate version.
Interesting.
At this point, so they've made her the movie version, which I don't care about one way or the other. I like them both. Galactus shows up as well, and then you will like this. It seems like the person pulling the strings, probably the person who stole the Reality Stone, is Jack of Hearts.
Oh shit.
So, really great issue, super amazing art. It's just fun fan service for cosmic.
So this isn't continuity, or it is?
But whatever. I think they're technically saying, yeah, it fits in there. And then if anything has a discrepancy, they go, well, you know.
Right, because if you took the Infinity Stone or the Reality Stone,
it really doesn't make any sense in continuity. I would say it's not, because As soon as Infinity Gauntlet is over, we get the Infinity Watch and then Infinity War. And at no point in there does Thanos mention to any of them that he had the Reality Stone stolen and then had to help get Silver Surfer to help him. He clearly would have said something because he is the one that comes to Adam Warlock and says, "There's a new threat. We got to team up and fight it," instead of being against each other.
All right.
So no, it's really not common.
Got it. Okay. Average Joe, you say what needs to happen is comics need to tell great stories and not try to be like the movies because you're not making future source material because it's already been done. My thoughts. I agree. All right, after that, we've got Strange Academy issue 16, The Winter Formal. Well, because it read too quickly, because we know this is going to end in May. And I'm praying to God. I had a conversation with Mike at the store, and I was like, I hope like it ends. It's because the Academy can no longer exist because Strange is dead, and now we're gonna get a new group of magic wielding group that's gonna be in a new comic, and that's why it's ending in May. And we're gonna get a.
You want not the same characters?
No. I want the same characters. It just won't be Strange Academy. Maybe it'll be Strange X-Force, or I don't know.
See, I don't understand why it can't be Strange Academy and just have what's her face be the new headmaster.
I agree. I know we're saying, well, it's because of this and this and this, but it's really because probably Humberto Ramos doesn't want to work anymore, or that he wants more money. And Marvel's like, fuck you, and Scotty Young is like, I'm not doing the series without Humberto, so the book's over.
Where on earth were you getting even an inkling, an idea of something?
My brain.
Like that?
I'm just reading it. It just makes sense.
Your brain does scary things sometimes.
Anyway, but what I'm hoping is that when we get June solicitations, this is the continuation of Strange Academy, but it's actually called Strange Force, or you know what I mean? Like,
I get what you're saying.
They're not in school anymore, and they got to go fight Doyle. Anyway,
I don't like it. I don't want any dynamic of this book to change. I'm very upset.
I agree, and I am too. I'm just saying there's got to be some kind of glimmer of hope because I want it to keep going. Marvel confirmed that the series will continue in some way or another after issue 18, possibly a new #1 or an actual rename. Thank you, Kwiku. I know it sucks, Nate. I know it sucks, but at least... okay.
There's no reason to redo it. Just keep it going.
This issue was fun. I thought it read too quickly, and it feels like we are pushing to get to May as quickly as possible with the expulsion of that one character that had the jacket that was magic, and now he's giving out wishes with Doyle and Emily, because it's been kind of like on and off again. Are they okay? And now I feel like we've got the final nail in the coffin with Emily trying to make sure everybody's okay and not realizing that she's late, and Doyle's like, fuck flowers, and he leaves the formal because he's pissed that he's being neglected. And it's like it does feel like we're pushing to try to get to May so that we can either get a new book later on or something. And I agree with you, Nate. If it's not Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos, and we're speculating here, but you have to imagine if it gets relaunched that one of them, if not both of them, won't be here. What do you think?
I don't think you can make that speculation, especially with the relaunch of Daredevil with the exact same team happening right now.
That's true. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't want it. I do want Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos to continue this book, and if it's a new #1 and they're both on it, fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. But I gotta, I guess, be a little pessimistic about it and just be like, I bet one of them's not coming back. Like, I mean, it's been such a good book, and this was a good issue, but it read entirely too quickly, and I need more of it, and it's gonna end, and I'm not happy about it. When we do our solicitations video, you're gonna know that we're not happy about it. We've said about it 2 weeks. We still got to make that video, but it's coming down. Patty says, I hear after 18 it's going to be a semester 2, but hold on. Okay, we're good. Sorry, I thought I heard something. I hear that it's semester 2, but I don't know. LCS said he didn't know. Semester 2 sounds like a cool way to pump out the number ones. Grayson says the dynamic I would love to change is for it to come out on time each month. Love Ramos, but man, they're don't like the delays. I agree.
Yeah, we've had this book for it'll be 2 years. What, May is the last issue?
May is the last issue.
So it'll be 2 years and 2 months. So that's 26 months, but we only get 18 issues.
Stefan, you're a freaking genius.
Yeah,
Legacy 19. All right, let's jump into the next issue. We got Action Comics issue 1040. Give me a quick second. I got to jump out really quick, but you start it and then I'll jump on.
Sounds good. So we are continuing the much to my favorite Federici era of the Action Comics books. I actually think he only has one more issue. War World Saga. We see more of Clark fighting in the pits, but refusing to actually kill anybody. Just fighting off monsters and helping defend everyone else, so that they can get their chains and get their kills and survive to live another day. At one point, Mongol even comes out and kind of challenges Clark, and Clark kind of fights him off to the point where he at least decides to leave him alone before kind of blasting him and leaving him there. But the thing that I found really interesting was when Mongol walks away, they start chanting the name that, whatever the nickname is that they've come up with for Clark in the Warzone language or whatever. So you can see that the air is starting to change a little bit for that the people are viewing Clark. And then pretty much the rest of this issue is setting us up for the eventual pretty quick... Oh god, what happened?
Keep going. I was messing with my monitor.
Okay. Basically setting us up for, I think, the revolution, for the revolt. We even get word that Midnighter's ready to strike. He's ready to knock out one of the planetary the things that's suppressing Clark's powers. And Clark's like, nah, we can't do that, because then that means that people will die, and fuck that, we're not letting anybody die. What was the power?
I don't know. It was like veins in a rock or something. I was like, what the fuck am I reading?
I will say it did get a little confusing, like what all was going on in here. I feel like this whole saga in general is going to be so much better in a reread, where you're just one after the other, and it all just is kind of cohesive. Because right now there's so much new stuff or stuff that maybe I just don't know about that I should, that I'm like,
yeah.
Honestly, I don't care, because if I'm looking at Federici art, then I'm happy. So I don't know. I think part of what's really selling it for me is the Federici art and the tone, and I don't know if that's what am I trying to say? I don't know if that's a valid point or not. Like, if I should be giving it that much credit, because not everyone has read Last God. But man, when we're going through the catacombs of the planet and stuff here, I just can't help but re-picture Last God in my head and just how awesome it was. And I just get that same eerie underground, sort of dwarven under the mountains sort of feeling.
Right.
And that's just not what I ever expected from a Superman comic. So I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, but I did feel a little lost. When he was siphoning the power off the planet, I'm like, did we read about this before? And I'm missing something, or what? What's going on here? Because even Clark was like, oh yes, this is the time. When did we establish that? I don't. Okay.
Right.
Anyway, after that we got Detective Comics issue 1054. Shit has finally hit the fan. We kind of see how we got to where we got to. I like it. How much more do we have of this?
I don't know. 4 issues or 3 or 4 issues?
3 or 4 issues. Okay, so here's my question.
Okay.
And it has really nothing to do with the current story. I think the current story is fun. I like it, and I want it to keep going. Let's get into a little bit of speculate, or let's. Hold on. I don't want to do that. Let's talk about this issue, and then I want to talk about some speculation.
Okay.
So tell me what happened here.
Shit hits the fan. So in the previous issue, Nightwing discovers that Psycho Clown is the one that's holding the Psycho Pirate. Sorry, he looks like a clown. Right?
He does look like a clown.
He's the one that is, holding his sway over everyone, and he distracts him enough so he finally loses hold. Completely can't hold anyone at all, and basically everyone just starts going fucking nuts. Like right in the middle of the press conference, that one guy just shivs some dude to death in the middle of the crowd, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, run!" Chaos breaks out. And of course, at the same time, I can't remember the group that Dr. Ware had an agreement with to get them drugs, but they're inside, and all of a sudden they see people start stabbing and shooting, so they just start opening fire, and then Penguin's guys are in there too to stop them from killing Ware, so that Penguin can get his money before they get their money. So they start firing too, and then the crazy girl starts stabbing people, and then Stephanie Brown, Batgirl, is inside there, so she's got to start kicking people in the face. Then Mr. Freeze gets a gun. I mean, it gets pretty
all over
nuts.
the place. Yeah.
This is where the action finally just starts tumbling down. 9, 10, 11. So this is issue 8, so we've got 4 more. And then the issue ends with whoever that guy is in the glasses that stabbed the guy. I don't remember who he is, but
I don't know either.
Oh, he has him, Dr. Ware, up against a window with a gun pointed to his head, and it's like, I'm gonna kill you, blah, blah, blah.
I'm gonna cut your thumb off, then throw you out the window. Yeah.
Right.
Because we know that's coming. All right. Great. Speculation. We kind of had this discussion with our new Batman writer revealed with Chip Zdarsky. If you haven't seen that, go to check out our page. We've got a new video up about Chip Zdarsky being announced as the new writer for Batman. Where do you see Detective Comics going after this arc is over? And coinciding with what we think to be the death of Batman. Does this book continue to be a Bat Family book because of what we think is going to happen? And will Tamaki still be on the book?
Yes, I think Tamaki will still be on the book. I don't know anything about the sales of this event, and honestly, it's coming out so quickly that they're probably just now getting sales from issue 1. I think they will probably keep Tamaki on the book for a while. I don't see why they would pull her off. And I think that she has shown that her strength, at least in my opinion, has been writing Bat Family stories. Now, it is a little bit harder to justify Bat Family stories when Batman has his own book, Damian has his own book, Nightwing has his own book, and now the Batgirls also have their own book. It does make it a little bit harder. However, I think we don't know for sure how much longer Robin's going to be going on. We assume the rest of the books are still going to be going strong. At least I hope so. I don't want Batgirls or Nightwing to stop what they're doing. But I do think one interesting thing that Chip Zdarsky said was that he was going to be highlighting Tim Drake, right? Tim Drake? Back into the fold. And I wonder, with him being back into the story, if maybe it makes more room for this to be a loose Bat Family style book.
I like it.
I don't know. I would like that. Almost like a, see, I'm just spitballing off the top of my head now.
That's what I wanted.
What I would really love, is for Detective Comics to become a Bat Family B-Sides, where we have The Signal, Clown Hunter, Ghostmaker,
Miracle Molly.
Well, I'm thinking of actual, yes, Miracle Molly sometimes, Tim Drake, and Huntress. That having like a Bat Family B-sides, I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
I like
the
it.
Batgirl's got their own book. Dick's in his own book.
Mm-hmm.
Damien's probably going to be hanging out with Bruce in that book, or still having his own. So
I like it. Need to go write a letter to DC. Tell
I
them
was
to do
about to say we need to pitch it.
Yeah. Get on Twitter. Do it on Twitter.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got Robin issue number 11.
Whoa, bro.
Oh my god, you want to talk about that? Okay. Go ahead.
Are you still not reading it?
No. Why would I start reading it right now when I don't know what the fuck is going on?
Get caught up. It's
I'm not
like
doing it.
It's like 3 pages.
It's not 3 pages. It's a
Each
whole nother
book.
book. No way. It's not just 3 pages.
Okay,
Back
it's not
in
3
front.
pages, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pages.
10 pages. You just said 3.
Okay, so 80 pages. That's like 3 comics. Then you'd be caught up.
I'm good. Go ahead.
So in this issue, we see the boy that we've been following this whole time contact one of the kids that he was in the orphanage with and being like, you got to get me the fuck out of Gotham. And he's like, all right, we're going to do it. And in the meantime, we see Batman talking to Tim Drake, and he's like, yo, Tim, I fucked up with this kid. You can't let him get out. This is my mistake. Look at how bad his life is. We got to save him. We got to fix him. Go get him. This is when his back is broken and Azrael is out being Batman. And Tim's like, yeah, I'll do it, but what about John Luke or whatever the hell the dude's name is? And he's like, no, don't let him know about it. Don't get him involved. And so right as they're about to like hop on a boat in the harbor or some shit, Tim Drake jumps down and is like, yo, don't leave. I want you to come with me. And he's like, hey, no, I remember you from before and you kicked my ass. He's like, no, that was the other Robin. It's a different guy. Don't worry about him. And he's trying to convince this kid to come with him and to be with Bruce, essentially. And the kid is like, yeah, I think I might. And then right as he does, motherfucking Azrael jumps down in his goddamn Batman suit and is like, I remember you, punk. I'm gonna kick your ass. Like, literally, the kid starts running and he throws a batarang into his calf. Like, literally, like, 2 inches into the kid's calf.
Jesus.
And he, like, sits down and, like, tries to get up and tries to start running. Barely punches Azrael in the face and starts walking away. And Azrael's like, you fucking bastard, and pulls out a gun that shoots batarangs and shoots this kid in the back. And then the kid stumbles and falls off a bridge.
Okay.
So now this kid who's terrified of Batman because he thinks Batman is involved with the Joker and killing his parents, and then keeps running from him because Batman keeps trying to be like, no, well, I didn't mean to, I'm sorry. Now this guy that he still thinks is Batman shows up and fucking shoots him twice. And shoots him off of a bridge.
Damn.
And so the issue ends with Tim Drake and Azrael Batman looking over the edge, and this kid's just on the ground bleeding, possibly dead, and they're both like, oh shit.
Side note, Lee was absolutely pissed with us for not knowing that it was Azrael in our new comic book day video. She gave me a mouth at the
we
comic
deserve
book
it.
shop.
Yeah,
Yep.
I could not remember Azrael's name to save my life.
Like, she commented on the video. She's like, me screaming Azrael at the screen at the end of the video. So, all right, next up we got Robin issue number 11 from Williamson. I freaking called it. The minute we were talking about Resurrection, I was like, they're gonna
called it in issue 2 of this run.
Yeah, it was the minute they were talking about the Lazarus, like any form of resurrection. I was like, they're gonna resurrect Alfred. And from my understanding, it's about a 50-50 on the internet right now if they should or shouldn't. We've got a heavy amount of people on CBR saying don't do it. And then we've got a bunch of people that say do it. I don't really... when we entered DC at that current continuity, he had already died.
Yeah.
Right. So we haven't read month by month or by week by week a comic where Alfred is actually alive. right? So I'm in the camp of like, yeah, bring him back. I don't care. Like, sure, I want to read a comic with Alfred in it. Anyway, you know, Ra's al Ghul takes care of his mother. We have an after party. We get Flatline and Robin making out. I ship it. I'm on it. Let's do it. But the big reveal is that Robin, Damien is going to resurrect, or well, we don't know if he is or not, but he is planning on resurrecting Alfred with the Lazarus juice.
Yes.
And let's see. Patty says, I remember that call a long time ago. Hot damn. Thank you for the cred. Thank you for the legit, thank you for the check mark. We're verified. Let's do it.
I'm a little bit sad. The next issue is going to be the last issue with I don't remember his first name.
Oh, the artist?
Yeah, Melnikoff. His
oh no.
He put it on his Twitter this week. He was like, "All right, guys, like the penultimate issue of my runs here." Blah blah blah. I think it's gonna, at first it was I didn't know who he was, and the art style was just okay, that's fine. But like now it very much feels like an identity of this book, and I'll definitely miss his art once it's gone.
I wonder who they're bringing on.
I think that the event artist for the crossover, it does issues 13 and 14, and then I don't think we know the future of the book after the crossover.
Retro.
I don't know if it's necessarily like in danger of being canceled so much as like maybe it's gonna
morph into something else.
Like morph into something else. So yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I've enjoyed it.
This is a book that if we hadn't gone all like balls deep into DC when we first started, I probably wouldn't have picked it up, and I'm glad that we did on the initial, because it's not anything that I typically think I would have picked up, but I think there's a lot of value to this book and the current DC continuity.
Agreed. All right, next up, we jump into our independence, and before we even start our independence, and because we're in Image, I just have to say, because it's not in our rotation, because this was added at the very last second, if you have a chance, please go pick up Step by Bloody Step. It's an Image comic. It's a #1. It is a comic without words. I read this just before we started the show. Hot damn. It's good. It's not my pick of the week, but it's really fucking close. This was really good, and go check it out. I think it deserves at least an issue 1. I will be getting issue 2. I don't even want to give it away. I don't even want to say what it's about, but if you haven't read it yet or haven't looked at it yet, I think would be the better way of saying it. Please go do so. This is a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. So there's that. Nice. Department of Truth, issue number 16, a venture back in time with Oswald into the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. This was said by Tinian in his Substack that it was his favorite book and favorite artwork.
You keep saying that. It's of the guest
correct.
Artist.
And that's why you're here to correct me.
Of the past 5 issues, basically.
I would agree with that assessment. I thought the artwork in this book was really good. And then when you understand the context of why the artwork is the way it is.
Damn.
Huh?
I said, okay, damn.
Well, they don't know the conversation we had prior to the show, but if you want to talk about it.
I heard it in your voice.
Anyway, what we get in this issue is Lee Harvey Oswald having a conversation with another person within Black Hat that is doing the same thing he's doing. In a previous issue, I do not remember when, it was speculated that the Lee Harvey Oswald of the Department of Truth is actually a figment, a made-up version of Lee Harvey Oswald to perpetuate and push the Department of Truth's strategy, its agenda. And so in this book, we get a confirmation of that fact that this person, this Lee Harvey Oswald, is an actual figment, a made-up version of him living out someone's idea. And he's having a conversation with his like anti-version from Black Hat, and they're tripping balls. And he comes to this realization as he's tripping balls. And so he's questioning if he's even real. And the person that he's talking to is like, duh, you're not real. You were made up. And so we get a lot of confirmation in this book. And I thought it was really good. And we see that Lee struggled with it while he was tripping balls, and he decided to go back to the department even though he's not real.
Yeah.
I told this to Mike at the shop because he isn't reading it yet. And I told this to Hayden because he's not reading it. I said, you need to pick this book up because you don't know who the good guy is. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, you start reading it thinking you know who the good guy is.
It becomes way more ambiguous as the story has gone on.
Correct.
Or if there even is a good guy at all.
Right. Everyone just might be poopy.
I think that might be even more speculation. Quake, you have a good night. Appreciate you coming by even for the amount of time you had.
Very different of a lot of comments, but I want Surrey on the same team to go on for. Oh, are you talking about Play It Step by... Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's a good book. Department of Truth. I liked it. Before we started the show, you said you didn't quite like it, and then I told you what I thought it was about, and you're like, wait a minute, I like it.
Yeah, I think it was because I was reading this on the couch at 11 this morning with a headache and a kid running around screaming.
Makes
and
sense.
I don't think I was able to get in the head zone.
It's deep. It's really deep. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
And it was fresh because I read it right before the show too, so.
Nice.
All right, next up we have Supermassive, issue only this one. One of one, and we have a massive event crossover. What do they call it? They call it a what do they call it inside there? It's the Massive Verse.
Yeah, Massive Verse.
The Massive Verse crossover event where we have two new superheroes being introduced into this new continuity within Radiant Black, and then they're outside of themselves as well. And I haven't even said, like, I've given the shittiest description of this book. I fucking love this book. I told Nate before the show that this book has reignited, even though I'm loving Radiant Black right now, has just turned it up to 11 with this book, because I think we really get the personality that I think is kind of lacking in the Radiant Black character in the current book, and he's much more present, where I actually like him in this book rather than his own comic book. I like the introduction of Infernal Girl Red, and is it Raging Sun?
Rogue Sun.
I don't know. The artwork in this book is fantastic. The coloring in this book is fantastic. I thought the pacing did really well. I was really worried that I thought there would be pacing issues because of like Radiant Black issue 2 and 3, where it just didn't, like, it just felt like it took forever to like get to somewhere. And in this one, it was just like, it's super massive because it's super action packed, and we've got all this shit going on, but it was still cohesive in my brain. I know you have thoughts. Let me know.
So, I mean, I really enjoyed this. This was very, very close to being my pick of the week. Honestly, I just think Independence in general should be the pick of the week. One of the things that stood out to me was how cohesive the art was, with so many different artists working on the book the entire time.
Yeah, I was like, there are multiple artists, yes?
Right.
God.
However, so there's technically there were lines by 5 different people in this book.
My goodness.
However, I think the absolute unsung hero, or needs to be sung hero, of this entire book is colorist Igor Monti. He colors the entire book. He colors all 5 pencilers, all 5 inkers. And the color in this book just absolutely
pops.
It gives you the same amazing Tomu Moray feeling from like Batman and from what's the Scott Snyder book right now, Noctera. So I just think he did a great job. I think his colors made the entire book feel cohesive. Now, as far as the story goes, I think it did a really good job of introducing 2 main characters. Well, 2 characters in this book.
What?
Yeah, I have disappointing news for you, but I'll wait.
What?
So,
no.
So, yeah, I think they did a really. It was honestly this book wasn't as I was thinking it was going to be more high stakes than it was, and it really wasn't. But it was a really fun, rompy sort of classic comic book. Obviously, there has been tons of comparisons to this book to Power Rangers because both Higgins and who's the other writer that wrote Power Rangers? I think it's Ryan Parrott. Higgins both wrote Power Rangers book.
Is Parrott? Who's Parrott's character? Is it Inferno?
Rogue.
Okay. Okay.
So I think they've both written extensive Power Rangers. So there's definitely like a Power Rangers vibe here. There's no doubt. But like a lot of the same humor that we had from everybody was in here. At one point, all three have lost their powers and are chasing after the baddie in a car, and they stop at a Waffle House. And Inferno Girl Red, she's from a different universe, so she doesn't like in a different multiverse or whatever. And so she's like, the entire building's made out of waffles. And they're like,
yes, no, yes.
So overall, I think this is a really fun one-off issue that could launch a massive verse. This superhero-oriented, singular, cohesive continuity that's in Image Comics that we haven't had in a really long time, as far as I know. And so I think that would be cool. I think it's cool to have the possibility of Rogue Sun or Inferno Girl Red or Radiant Black showing up in each other's books.
Okay.
That seems cool.
What's the problem?
The problem is I'm worried about two things. One is I'm worried about the muddying of the Radiance in the Radiant Black book.
Okay.
I'm way more interested. I would, if I had to choose between expanding universe with these two characters or having two more books about Radiant characters, I would choose the Radiant characters by far, even if they weren't written by Kyle Higgins, because I already feel so much more invested in that universe, that timeline, that group. The whole invasion might be happening. Is this a robot? Is this an alien talking to me in my head? Way more invested in that than I am these other two.
Okay.
The other thing is, and this is the solicitation, this is the description that is on Image Comics right now, so this isn't a spoiler, or it's not supposed to be, but the main character that we meet for Rogue Sun, Marcus whatever, is not the character that is in Rogue Sun. He's dead. It's his long-lost son that is the character, and the first arc is about finding out who killed Marcus. And I liked Marcus's like arrogance and adulthood, and like you need to, he almost was like a cocky American, like you need to figure your own shit out. And I kind of was like, okay, I can see that kind of character working in this. He's the antithesis of Radiant Black, and now he's dead, and his like street urchin punk son is supposed to be taking over for him, and it's like, why did you even waste my time talking about this character, and now I'm never gonna see him.
Well, you say okay, and let me try
the
to.
Dude's dead. Like it's the entire
hold on.
point.
Okay, he may be right. We're not gonna get the book until then. You said the first arc is gonna be figuring out who killed him. You can't, and I'm defending, and I will admit it. I will admit it, and I'm gonna try to change your mind here because I'm hopeful.
What are you going to change my mind on? I'm still picking up all the books.
I know, but I want you to be more positive about it. So let's play what if, because both of us are making assumptions, and you've made your assumption, and I'm going to give you my assumption about Rising. What is it? Is it Rising? I keep on forgetting. Raging Black. Rogue Sun. Right? Rogue Sun. So you're making the assumption later, Brandon. Oh, hey, what's up, Brandon? I was saying later, Brandon. You're just here. You just got showed up. You're making the assumption that because of the solicitations and the way it's written that he's dead, and it's a pretty easy assumption.
No, they say he's dead. They say he's dead.
They say he's dead.
They say that he's not the main character. They say follow the new character. I know what you're saying, but he's not the character. That's not it.
And I'm not saying he is the character. Okay. Let's look at Radiant Black. We get introduced to this kid, and we're like, 5 issues in, he's the main.
Yeah.
What the
fuck?
But
we just did that. I don't need to do that again.
And I'm not saying we're doing that, I have a hunch, and I'm literally coming up with this to fly. I did not have this thought until you told me, because you didn't tell me anything until we got to this point in the show. We didn't have a pre-discussion about Supermassive. I'm just coming off the whim in this book. What if his dad is the villain? He's been turned, and then he's gonna have to fight his dad. Like how did he die? Oh shit! Twist. I'm just saying. I think there's gonna be a twist, because I think we're gonna. However, that guy wrote that character, I think is going to. What's the word? Continue on in his book. And when you told me about this, and you were like, "Are you going to pick up the other books?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess." And now I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm picking up the other books," because this was so much fun. And I liked the baddie that they set up in this book, hoping that he'll show up, or they'll show up in every single one of these books. And here's my final reason why this was my pick of the week. We got to see the fucking Radiant Black robot do something cool.
Is that the same robot that's talking to him, though?
Yes.
He
sure? Like shoots it out of his chest. He's like, ugh, and it pops out, and it fucking just does a Kamehameha thing. It is.
Not convinced it's the same thing.
I think it is. Either way, this is my pick of the week. I thought it was a great book. What it did for me is it reminded me again why I got into this hobby, because I ended it and was like, fuck yeah, that was fun. This was really good. So
that's Jim's pick of the week.
My pick of the week.
Before we move on, Grayson said that he picked up issue 1 of Department of Truth and never read further, need to jump back in. Yes. And then Empire said, I need to read Radiant Black, could see if my LCS has a trade. I just want to say, both of you, 100% the first trade is the Image introductory $10 for the first trade. So I literally picked them up just because I loved both series, and they're $10, and $10 for a 6-issue trade is just 5 or 6 issue trade is
also I really liked
especially
Inferno.
for really good ones.
I really liked Inferno Red. I thought she was cool.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that she's only getting a graphic novel. She's not getting any single issues. She's not getting a mini series. It's just straight graphic novel.
I'm taking it.
And I think it comes out in. I think all of this stuff comes out in March. Like literally, we get 3 from the very back.
Oh, I thought it said late 2022 for. Inferno.
Oh, it did. It does say that.
Yeah.
So we get the next issue of Radiant Black in March. We get the first issue of the Radiant Red miniseries in March. And then we get the first issue of Rogue Sun. It says February, but that has been moved to March 2nd. Obviously, not February because we don't have
That's this week, isn't it?
It's this week.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. You're not, but I am.
No, I'm excited. I'm
interested. Okay. Berserker issue number 7. It's okay. No, it's not okay. It's... I don't know... It's dumb. It's dumb. And I know you're off. And I'm not going to try to convince you to continue to go. But Huh?
I don't know. I almost feel like now I'm so far in, I might as well just pick up the whole.
Well, that's kind of how I feel about it. And also, he gets locked into like this box, and he's like building up a massive fart to unleash his ultimate power. This book is all over the goddamn place, and I'm with you, Nate. It's 50-50 right now if I'm gonna buy it or not. And all I'm like, am I reading it because I know it's gonna become a movie, and I'm gonna see how far they like stick with it, and if they go like from panel to panel. But this book had so much potential, and now it's like the covers are the most interesting thing about the book. I hate saying that. I don't want to poo-poo on it. I think Matt's an incredible writer. We've read, his ENIAC book was so fucking good. And so I hate to be like, this was just meh. But I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. And that sucks. That's my 2 cents.
We're doing the same thing. I mean, we do 2/3 of the book is the same for all 7 issues, and then 1/3 of the book is
something new-ish.
Something new-ish. That's it.
Okay. That's Berserker. If you read it and you've got a different take, let us know. But that's just where we're at right now.
Yeah.
House of Slaughter, issue number 5.
Yes. This took a lot of thought. But It is.
That's Nate's pick of the week.
So one of the things that I was always leery about with this was the fact that Aaron was our main focus of this book. Now we're learning it's just the first arc, which I think is great. But I was always just like, why? Why are you telling me a dead man's story? How is that going to drive the plot? I'm not that interested. And then I started reading the book and was like, well, okay, these are really compelling characters, but still, how is this going to drive forward the plot of in the Something is Killing the Children plot? Like the actual, in the world, what are we doing? Like, why does this book need to happen? And finally, in this book, we get the answer, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Okay.
So, as we've learned, Jace, the character on the left, who is from another house Butcher, and Aaron have a romantic relationship going on in years past when Jace was still living at the school. Eventually, Jace leaves the school. The house locates him, and Aaron is sent out to find him and kill him. So, this whole time we've been telling two different stories. We've been seeing the story in the past when they first met and first got together, and then we're seeing the story of them now, and Aaron trying to confront what he's supposed to be doing versus what he wants to do. Obviously, he still loves Jace. Obviously, there's still that whatever you want to call it, that spark, that romance that was between them, but they seem to be in different paths. And in this issue, we finally get, the climax of the two storylines. The first one is that Jace straight up opens a can. He finds out for sure, or so he thinks, that the old dragon is the old man with the gold mask is the one that is responsible for the assassination of his family. Basically, his entire family getting killed. And the reason why he has to leave New Orleans and come to Chicago and be with House of Slaughter. And this entire time, it turns out he's been holding on to the totems of his entire family. So his mom, his dad, and his brother and sister. He has all of their totems, which have monsters inside. And everyone's always speculated if the monsters stay alive or not after you die. And Jace is like, well, we're about to fucking find out. And he essentially has them all where he rips the heads off of all of them all at once, and they're spread out through the house. And then one of them is in the room with him and the old man. The monsters cause chaos throughout the house. One of the really snotty, shitty white masks, that's always talking shit. Her teacher is on the ground and about to get killed by this monster, and she's like, "Don't worry, I'll protect you." And then the next panel is her just getting sliced in half and going, ah. She doesn't even lift up her sword or anything.
Damn.
It was pretty brutal. And we're not exactly sure how that ends. We see Erica and Aaron's teacher. I can't remember her name, but they see her. Those two girls save most of the people, get rid of some of the monsters. But of course, Aaron comes in and sees Jace and the old man fighting. Aaron tries to stop him with non-lethal force. Jace strikes out at him and actually cuts off his two fingers on accident. And Aaron's like, fuck you, I can't believe you. I can't believe I ever loved you and that you were ever a part of this family, and you just need to leave.
Damn.
And so that's what causes Jace to leave. But they don't send anyone after him because there's just been a massacre and there's monsters running loose, and so they can't just go chase after him. They'll jump forward however many years it's been, and looks like Aaron is basically coming to the conclusion that I don't know, man. I might have to kill this fucker. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to do it. At one point, Jay says, "All right, I want to show you one more thing," and Aaron starts putting on his mask, and it seems like he's about to turn around and just stab him. And he's like, "I want to show you one more thing," and he walks Aaron out of a ravine out of the forest, and you see a little ravine, and he's got a little camp down there with a couple of adults and a bunch of kids. And Aaron's like, what is this? And he's like, this is what we should be doing. Saving the kids, not training them to be monster hunters. And we see that Jace has created a community of outcast monster hunters who are saving children whose families have been killed by monsters and are just taking them in as orphans and essentially raising them together. So these kids know that the monsters exist, they know that they're real, they know how it happens, but they're not part of the secret organization that keeps all of the secrets hidden, and they, maybe they'll go talk to people. And, obviously this is something that the House of Slaughter and then the Order of St. George in general has been trying to make sure doesn't happen. And it does. This is what's happening. And so, in order to, we're not exactly sure. So in order to prove to the house that he killed Jace, even though he doesn't, they cut Jace's hand off completely, and he goes back to the old man in Chicago and throws his hand on his table and is like, "All right, it's done." And the old man's like, "All right, good. You've got a new assignment, and the new assignment is to go help Erica," which, of course, that's where he dies. And so the legacy of Aaron is going to live on essentially through Jace and through this community of children who are essentially going to be the rogues or the antithesis of the Order of St. George.
Nice.
So I think at some point they're definitely going to show up in Something is Killing the Children as, this order that, Erica's probably going to really want to be a part of.
Right.
This situation where we're not raising kids to go get murdered by monsters. The storytelling was really good. Like the way that this issue was laid out, telling the dramatic scenes from each story. It was, one line was the old story, one line was the new story, and just the way it played out was really, really cinematic too, visually. So it was a great issue, best solid issue of the first 5. Definitely made a series that I was like, I'm not sure. And then now that I see where it was going, I'm like, fuck yeah, 100%. Totally has a spot in the Something is Killing the Children universe for sure.
Okay. Well, cool. Sounds good.
Cool.
All right. Radio Apocalypse, issue number 2.
Oh, you didn't read this either.
No, I didn't. But I've heard good things.
It's so good. So in this second issue, at the end of the first issue, we find out that one of the local towns has run out of juice, run out of electricity, and they're gonna have to come to our main town where our radio station is. And so we basically get 2 different storylines. We're getting the storyline of the dude that runs the radio, and this day tripper, essentially someone who runs in between outposts during the day, because of course they can't do it at night, because that's when all the ghouls and the goblins and crazy shit comes out. And so part of the story is following the guy that runs the radio and like the kid that tries to, did you read the first one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
The kid that tries to rob him and then he makes him work for him.
Right.
He's like, hey, we're going to go to a Reaper. We're going to go see a Reaper's outpost. And so they go to this Reaper's outpost and they don't understand why. And the kid's down there like with this other little girl and there's like talking, whatever. And it's so the radio man and the Reaper can bang. But basically, they start talking about, setting up the world, basically. Do a little bit more world setup about, Reapers are people that they're the last bastions of defense between different outposts and stuff. And meanwhile, we're getting the day tripper. We're getting this girl riding with her dog on a motorcycle, trying to get from one outpost to the next. She's the one that's delivering the message. Hey, this outpost requires your aid to get from outpost A to B. Like, do you accept? Essentially, it's the way that the language is set up is really funny. It's like they've got their own like way of saying shit. What did she do? Oh, anyway, so Kins Creek is the town that's messed up. Bakerstown is the one where the radio station is, and while the day tripper is on her way from Bakerstown, or Kins, whatever, from the bad one to the good one, she sees a den of the ghouls, and like she opens a garage door, and it's just like fucking blood and guts and oozing shit everywhere. And she's like, "Oh no, it's a nest. Like this is our worst fear. There's a nest in the thing." And she's like racing back, and like you can see the dark closing behind her, and it almost reminded me of Noctera. Like as the dark is closing behind her, you can see all the ghouls like running to try to catch her. And right before she's about to be taken over, she shoots off a flare, which alerts the Reaper, and the Reaper shoots them, and she's saved.
Nice.
So the next issue we're gonna get to see, it's called like the Reaper's issue. Don't fear the Reaper, and we're gonna get to see, I guess, the Reaper trying to get the townsfolk from one outpost to the next.
Nice.
The thing I really enjoyed about this issue, or about the first 2 books, is if you're paying attention, Rom V totally gives you a playlist to listen to while you're listening to this. So Day Tripper obviously is a really popular Beatles song. At one point while he is talking with the Reaper, he pulls out a Cure album and puts on a particular song, and at one point the little boy says to the girl, he's like, "What does Don't Fear the Reaper mean?" And obviously Blue Oyster Cult song. And so it was really funny. Like if you're paying attention, Ron V totally gives you an entire playlist to listen to while you're reading this issue.
That's cool.
Overall, I think the atmosphere of this book is really cool. The art is really interesting. You could tell that the schedule was messed up. I think even after having such a delay, there were still certain scenes where the artist was just like, fuck it. Like, he has a very, very wild and scratchy style anyway, that I think he was just sort of like, I can get away with this. But like, there were certain panels where you see the Day Tripper's face, and it looked like a Picasso painting. Like, eyes and nose and mouth on the side of her face, and like an ear up here. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, Empire is like, yeah, I can't get into the art style on this one.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think that's a valid critique, but I'm enjoying it so far. Super would recommend it, and it's also like I made the playlist. Like after I watched it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna put these on, put them in a little Spotify playlist, and read through the issue. It was pretty cool.
That's badass. Patty says it sounds like a bandstand. Totally agree. Yeah,
it does.
All right, well, that's gonna do it for issue. I did this last week. Episode 78 of Two Fat Guys Pull List. We're approaching 80. It's gonna be great. Next week is another big one. I don't know. Well, yeah, I think it will be a beefy week, because if we combined both of ours with books that I have and you have, it's just going to be an onslaught. I have 19. I have 19 books. Wow. I'm not going to say what I have, but I have 19 books.
I have 18.
I'm almost positive we're going to have a 20 plus week again, so there will be an honorable mentions button rapid fire. But it's looking pretty cool. I will talk about this. Next week we have crossover issue number 12, and I don't know. I know it's going to resonate very well with the comic books community. I don't know if it will for me. And it's because it's a direct, I believe this is the issue that's got like a massive Living Dead or Walking Dead tie-in, and I haven't read that, and I don't, I know that there's a TV show, right? Like that's my, and poo-poo on me, but that's my, my most exposure to that, and I've seen the episode, spoilers, when Negan takes a bat to a major character's head. I've seen that. That's my most exposure to Walking Dead, so I don't know how much crossover is going to, but I'm giving away like what we're going to talk about on New Comic Book Day. But that's just giving that little tidbit. But there are some fire books that I'm looking forward to. It's going to be really hard, I think, to pick a book pick of the week.
Yeah, I'm looking at this list already, and crossover, Alien, Noctera, The Return of Nice House on the Lake.
Yep.
Next installment of Reckoning War. 2 Star Wars High Republic books. There's a lot going on next week. I
don't want to give it away. You're going to find out on Wednesday what we're picking up. But be prepared, guys. It's going to Beefy Cow is probably coming back. Maybe I'll make a new PNG and we'll have a different Beefy Cow. Maybe we'll have a Beefy Bull. I don't know. But thank you, everybody that has been watching this episode live, and anybody that is watching this as a past episode, we appreciate you all. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, give us a like. We much appreciate it. We are on the road to 650 subscribers, guys. We are 50 away. Let's get it done. Let's get it there so we can get on to the next milestone, which is 750, and so on until we hit that 1,000 benchmark. Again, as always, read more comics, and I'm going to talk while I do the outro because I've added those now. So thanks again, guys, for watching, and we will see you guys next week. Oh, no, we'll see you on Wednesday. Wednesday for New Comic Book Day, and I promise we will get our solicitations videos done very soon. So, we'll get it done. But later, guys.